Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this webinar on the Cycle 3 project call for Digital Superclusters Technology Leadership Program. My name is Linda, and we also have Francesca here today with us. So before we start, I would like to go over a few housekeeping items. So you're all on mute. This webinar is scheduled for an hour. Start with a 30-minute presentation followed by a question and answer. Please write your questions in the chat window and we'll get to them in the last 30 minutes. We're going to be recording this presentation, so both the recording and this presentation deck will be made available on our member portal. This session is for general questions on this project call and how you get involved in the expression of interest stage of the call. For questions pertaining specifically to your project, we're happy to take it offline. So before we dive into the specifics, I would like to give some context of who we are and what we do. And for those of you who have participated in our past project calls, this may be a little repetitive, so I apologize. The Digital Supercluster invests in industry-driven projects that are ambitious, that have the potential to transform industries and propel the economic growth of Canada. Our investment will also support the scaling of small and medium enterprises and a robust ecosystem, expanding Canada's capacity to be a global leader in digital technology. In this webinar, we'll walk you through everything you need to know to participate in the expression of interest stage, starting with overview of the two-stage process, project eligibility, and then move on to some tips on what a good EOI should look like, how you access the resources on the member portal, what the EOI template look like, and what the next steps are. So at the Digital Technology Supercluster, we run a two-stage process, expression of interest, EOI, and full project proposal, FPP. So at the EOI stage, project teams will submit an expression of interest and may be invited to present to a review panel. Following the review, successful teams will be invited to the next stage to submit a full project proposal. At the FPP stage, project team will submit a full project proposal and a company budget and may also be invited to present to a review panel. Following the review, successful teams will be notified of the investment decision and will proceed to the contracting phase, which we call master project agreement. So who is eligible? Projects must be industry-led. So at the expression of interest stage, the lead applicant of the project can be either a full member or an associate of the supercluster, but they must be from the industry. It cannot be a nonprofit or post-secondary institution. At the full project proposal stage, the lead applicant must be also from the industry and also be a full member of the supercluster. There are a minimum of 3 partners required in the project consortium, not including the supercluster, with at least one small or medium-sized enterprise, at least one post-secondary institution, at least one full member of the supercluster, and each consortium member must be contributing to the project in a meaningful way, having skin in the game versus being just a subcontractor. What projects are eligible? Projects must be incremental to the regular business undertaking. Project must be relevant to the cycle area of focus for the current competitive call and supercluster priorities. We will go over in the later slide on what the area of focus is for cycle 3. And projects must be submitted according to the instructions set out by the supercluster, which we'll also go over in a later slide. As for eligible cost, please refer to the co-investment guideline and the budget guidelines and templates, which all are available in a member resource portal. And which I will show in the later slide how you can access to those resources. So your expression of interest will be evaluated in 4 areas, each area being weighted a bit differently. You've been evaluated on how strong the consortium is, the degree of innovation achievability of the technology, the path to deliver commercial outcomes of your project, and its benefit to the ecosystem. And all these 4 evaluation criteria are outlined in the Appendix A of the program guide. This is a highly competitive process, and there's no one-size-fits-all for a good project. However, we would like to go over sections in the EOI template and offer some tips on developing a good EOI, which leads to a successful proposal. So the main body of the EOI template has 5 sections. The need is where you provide your problem statement and how the proposed projects align with the supercluster priorities and the cycle 3 themes. We suggest that you state your problem in everyday language. The market. Who are your customers? And what are the global market opportunities or competition? We recommend to include a customer organization in the consortium who plays a key role in the project. The solution. What is the proposed solution and a high-level project work plan? Ask yourself a question of, is the proposed solution scalable nationally and globally? How innovative is the solution? And how does it compare to the state of the art? The consortium. This session, you list out the roles and expertise of each consortium member and why is this the dream team to deliver this project. And making sure all consortium members investing in a meaningful way, like we mentioned before, having skin in the game versus a subcontractor relationship. And examine your consortium in the way that if you have all the key players to make the project successful, and how committed are they? Have you just initiated the conversation with them? Are they ready to be on board and sign the UI submission with you? And taking consideration of how ready they will be if you were to invite it to the proposal. The ecosystem, how the proposed project will establish Canada as a global leading innovation ecosystem by either creating new jobs, advanced academic research, and scale up small and medium enterprises. We will also recommend that when putting together a UI, have a dedicated individual to hold the pen and coordinate content amongst consortium members. Also, you're given 4 weeks to work on your UI. We suggest that you spend the first 3 weeks to develop the UI submission and the last week to have the consortium review your submission and have their feedback and input. Also, we recommend to have a shared space for the team to collaborate on, either the Google Doc or something like SharePoint. And this is not a creative writing exercise, so feel free to use bullet points when it's appropriate. We also suggest you to start your membership conversation early if you're not a full member yet, because only full members can lead a technology leadership project and be eligible to receive supercluster or co-investment. So if you are an associate, we encourage you to start the conversation with our member operations team at the early stage of the process. Commercialization model is not required at the EOI stage, but it is critical at the FPP stage. So you may want to start designing your commercialization model early if you're to be prepared if you're invited to proceed to the FPP. As with the previous cycles, Cycle 3 Technology Leadership Call solicits projects under the Precision Health, Digital Twins, and Data Commons programs. We're open to receiving projects that fall within any of the 3 programs. However, following consultation with members and the stakeholders, we have set out suggested areas of focus for each of the programs. Under Precision Health, we look for projects which develop platforms for formalizing and applying computable medical knowledge. For Digital Twins, we look for projects that build platforms that enable real-time execution of analytical models that interact with people and real control systems. Under Data Commons, we look for projects which build platforms that enable discovery of data in distributed environments. And this area of interest document is available on the member portal. As previously mentioned, we have a 2-step application process, EOI and FPP. Your EOI submissions are due on Friday, November 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And your invitation for FPP will be in early December. FPP submissions are due late January 2020 to allow project team to work on their submissions after the holidays. Final project selection decision will be made in March. All the information relevant to the Technology Leadership Program and the Cycle 3 call are on our member resource portal, which all our full members and associates have access to. After you have logged into your resource portal, go to Developing Technology Leadership Projects at the bottom. All the aforementioned documents and templates that you need for your application can be accessed here, such as the program guide, co-investment guide, expression of interest template, Cycle 3 area of focus, and there's a master project agreement, which is our contract if you want to take a look. And your expression of interest template is both available in PDF and a Word doc. What happens next? Your EOIs are due on Friday, November 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Submissions must be made via our online form, which you can find the link in 2 places. One is on the main page of the member portal, the page that I just showed you in the previous slide, and also on the Word version and the PDF version of your EOI template. On the first page, there's a link that will take you to the online submission form. Schedule your presentation. So a week prior to the due date, we will communicate to all members on how to book your presentation, most likely the Calendly. And in the meantime, we're here to support you on your EOI development. And we'll publish shortly on the member portal on how to book a support session with our internal resources to help you with your EOI. Again, this presentation deck and the recording will be published on the member portal shortly. In the meantime, any questions you have, please email info@digitalsupercluster.ca.